You're watching Rainnite Gaming.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Rainnite Gaming. I'm Rainnite, and in today's video, we're doing our meta watch. Basically just looking at tournament results, seeing what decks did well, and interesting decks that I think you guys might be interested in, and popping up on here so you can look at them and see if you might want to play them in the future. Also, heads up, there are starting to be more tournaments, online tournaments, popping up for you guys to go to. If you want to go to the comments down below, get to the Discord of the Gundamcardgame community, and you can see where all those are. And if you would like to participate in them, you can. Okay, jumping into it here for Wings Nest, week 10. They've been doing it for this 10 weeks. It's kind of crazy. As you can see, the meta is actually shaking up a little bit more. We do have still a lot of rush decks, but they didn't do great. And then these other decks right here are actually mostly blue-white control decks, but they're a little bit different, so they call them other. We got some Meteor decks that did 50-50, and blue-white, which they said there's only two, but really these others are also that. It did amazing at 87%. Pretty crazy. Let's jump right into the tournament results. Get rid of some of these ads. You can see Taduna went 4-0. Blue-white control. Marincess, blue-white control. Aaron, blue-white control. And Levi, I believe this is also blue-white control, but I'd have to look at it. And then we've also got, Operation Meteor and white-red tempo. Kind of finish up the top spots there. We're going to take a look at the first place deck here. As you can see, it looks like a fairly standard blue-white control deck. It's just playing all the cards that are really good in blue-white control. And then we've got Marincess, also playing blue-white control, but it's a little different. And, I'm just popping these up right now. I will jump into Wing Table here in a second. We're going to go over these in full detail so you guys can, see what they look like and everything. So pretty, it's a little different. It plays this, the Mercury and a different base, so, a little different. Then we're going to jump down and do an Operation Meteor. This is the green-blue version, because one of my subscribers did ask for a green-blue Operation Meteor deck, so here you go. And then the last one we're going to look at is DK Megatron's red-white tempo deck. It's not quite a rush deck, but it has a little rushy aspect in the beginning, and then it actually has some in-game, so it's a little bit different. Okay, hopping into Wing Table here, we've got the first place blue-white control deck. So it's playing 4 Gem, 4 Lifith, 4 Durablade, 4 Strike, 2 of the new Sword Strike Gundam. This thing is pretty cool because it's, each turn you're going to be able to do that bounce, which can be pretty cool. Then when we're playing 2 of Grandpa Gundam, 4 Perfect, and 4 Errol. And then we've got 2 of a newer base. I think last week was the first week that it was legal. This is the blue base. We're just going to call this one Gamma base. But this one's really nice because you can rest units. Then, of course, Archangel, you can unrest your blockers. Really cool. Very standard pilots here. Does play the Lynx here. Oh, what's he do? Oh, okay, it lets you pair. When you pair, you draw a card. And he's a 2/2. It's actually pretty good. You don't see him too much that I've noticed. Then we've got, of course, our Searchers right here. 2 Overflowing Affection and 4 A Shadow Resolves. And as you can see with its curve here, not a huge early game, but it's mid-game. It's 3 and 4 is like a big area for it. And then it has enough in-game where it's, you've got a little bit of strength there at the end. So, really good deck. Obviously, it did well. We're going to go ahead and look at the other blue-white control deck from Marincess, because it is a little different in spots. So you can see there's different ways of building these decks and still be, fairly successful. So we've got 4 of Strike Dagger, 3 of the Gun Tank for that extra pop, 4 of Durablade, 4 of Lilith, 3 of Grandpa Gundam, 4 Perfect, and 4 Errol. That's a little it's pretty good. I think they're playing less units than the first place. Let me look at that. Yeah, they're playing a couple less units, it looks like. So pretty cool. And then we've got 4 of the Archangel and 2 of White Base. So you can see their bases are different there. And they're playing 4 Amuro, 4 Mercury, and 4 Kira. And then obviously 4 and 2 of the Searchers. So you can see that these blue-white decks, both successful, both really trying to, grind out the game. So, you can see different ways of wanting to play this deck. So you guys can play them any way you want to. It's just blue and white is just the good stuff, and it's been like that through the whole beta. Okay, jumping down the list a little bit, we're going to get into Junie. I'm going to call him Junie. Operation Meteor. This is green-blue ramp deck or mid-range, however you want to say that. So we got our early game is the Maganac. Playing 4 of that, 2 of the Zaku 2 structure deck, 4 Zeal, 4 Grandpa Gundam, 4 Vanilla Gundam, 1 Vanilla Gundam, my bad. You don't want to play more than one of those. 2 of the Vanilla Wing Gundam, 4 Death Scythe, and 4 Wing Gundam. This is obviously the deck that it has a slower beginning. It's just trying to survive that early game to get to these big cards at the end here. And once you get to these big cards, you just take over the game. Because if you're just dropping linked pairs of Wing Gundam and Death Scythe each turn, it's hard to put up with that. It's just really good stuff. The only problem is sometimes they have a little trouble getting to that end game because of some of the rush decks or control decks that don't let them build any of their early stuff. So then they just lose too much life through the beginning and they don't have enough to survive when their big stuff comes out. But still, very powerful deck, and I'll be interested how this does when the game actually comes out. Bases, we've got Institute, helps you stack your deck a little bit. 3 of the White Base, just helps you get some tokens. 4 Maxwell, 4 Hero, 4 Ray. Just, the standard lineup. This is for this kind of deck. These are just the best cards you want to use, because obviously these go with their linked pairs, and Amuro is just probably one of the best pilots since he's able to rest stuff. And, he's a 2-1, which is pretty good. Then we're playing Siege Ploy. This lets you rest an enemy unit, which is really handy sometimes. Then we play our Searcher, 3 of the Shadow Resolves. And we're playing 3 of another Searcher, kind of. This is just specifically for the Operation Meteor stuff. It lets you search the top 5 cards, and if you reveal one of your Operation Meteor, you get to add it to your hand. So, really cool. Cool deck. Lots of fun to play this deck. It does need a little bit help in the early game, I find, though. That's just my opinion, though. Tell me if I'm wrong. Okay, last deck, I wanted to show a little more of the different strategies that you guys could use, and this is DK Megatron's White-Red Tempo deck. So we are playing 3 Demi Trainer, 4 Lilith, 4 MA Mode, 3 Launcher Strike Gundam, 3 of the Argus Gundam, this is the structure deck one, and then 4 of the Aerial Strike, 4 Perfect Strike, and 4 Sinaju. I'm just going to call this one Sin, even though I'm now pronouncing it better. You got to come up with nicknames for these cards. If you guys have any good nicknames for some of the cards that are up here, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll probably start using them. Bases, we're going to do 4 Archangel and 1 of the Rololo. We're just calling this one LOL, or LOL. That just does 1 damage. It does feel a little lackluster with that just 1 damage, but sometimes that 1 damage can let you clear a unit occasionally. We're playing a bunch of pilots. We're playing 4 of Zeal, 2 Mercury, 2 Kira, and 4 Full Frontal. I really like Full Frontal. The only problem with him is he's a level 6. It can sometimes be hard to get to that level 6. But this has enough early game and mid game that, you are probably not going to get rushed down too bad. So, you can usually survive till you get to these bigger in-game things. That and the combo with Sin is just so nice. Being able to pop things for 2 damage, really cool. Then we're just playing the 1 Searcher. We're playing 4 Overflow Affection because, Searchers are good. You gotta love them. Okay, guys, that's going to be it for this video. thank you for coming up for some more Meta Watch. Hopefully we've got some new tournaments for you next week. And when the game actually starts up, I'll definitely be looking on the line, seeing what's doing well, so you guys can see what's coming out there in the real world. So we all can be totally ready to play this game when it finally goes live. Because remember, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And I'll see you in the next one. See ya.